From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. Do want to let you be aware of an event that's a free event that's coming up here. It's the Shred Fraud event. Say that 3 times real fast. The Shred Fraud event. Did you know that a lot of your mail that you throw away in the trash, that there are people that can go through your trash or your recycling bin and pick up sensitive documents? So what PSA2, High Cap, and Medicare Patrol are doing, they're teaming up to help you fight fraud. Now, you can go to a free drive-through event Saturday, June 28th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Hartnell Avenue. Open and shred mail on site you don't need. Medicare statements, sensitive documents, old bills, the works. Come to the event for the free shredding of your Shred Fraud event here. Say that again 3 times real fast again here. So it's a free drive-through event. Be sure to check it out. Put that on your calendars. Of course, I'll be reminding you here in the weeks to come. All right, before we get to the weather headlines, just want to let you know, we're going to start off with Krueger's Quickcast. Then we're going to go into some of the fire coverage here, because we do have some fires out there that we need to be aware of here, especially in Trinity County and also in Plumas County. And then we'll go into the deeper dive forecast. All right, so here's what we've got here with your weather headlines. A hot start to the week. Mountain thunderstorms today and tomorrow, much like what we saw yesterday, actually. Then we've got a cooling trend this week, which is good. We're starting off hot, but we should start to cool off here toward the end of the week. And after we cool off, no major heat waves anytime soon after that. All right, so here's your Krueger's Quickcast for your Monday, June 9th, heading out the door this morning. 8 o'clock, you're looking at temperatures already in the upper 70s, maybe even some low 80s for some of you in the valley. You're looking at some fog along the coast. That's going to be hard to burn off here, by the way, through the afternoon. And temperatures mainly in the 60s and 70s at 8 o'clock this morning for many of the higher elevations. So you look at the satellite image here, there's really a lot going on here. Number one, you can see the afternoon convection that we did see yesterday in Northern California. Number two, you can see some storms over the eastern Pacific, which, by the way, should start to break away at the root of high pressure that's over us now, and that should allow our temperatures to start to drop a bit. So looking at the winds here for today, they're not bad through midday, but by the afternoon, especially coming in from the south, that is going to be contributing factors to some of the higher weather risks that we do have here as we go into the next 24, 48 hours. By tomorrow morning, the winds died down, but should begin to pick back up again as we go into tomorrow afternoon. So there you can see the fog along the coast this morning. Clear skies setting the stage for more afternoon convection. Daytime heating, we see the afternoon clouds and thunderstorms developing in the higher elevations. 3 p.m. Monday, isolated showers and thunderstorms. Not everyone's going to see them, but there is going to be showers, there will be lightning strikes, and there will still be some fog here along the coast. Now, it's going to be in the mountains where the lightning strikes will be. Through this evening, even into tonight, we are still seeing some leftover activity here, especially off to the east in Modoc County, Lassen and Plumas counties. But other than that, once we get into the midnight hour, most of that will be gone. There's also a heat advisory for western Siskiyou County, the northern Sacramento Valley, and the surrounding foothills, which, by the way, does not include Chico. And that's thanks to really that delta breeze keeping those temperatures most likely below 100 degrees for Chico southward. But, I mean, we're seeing highs upwards of 106 degrees in the valley, upwards of 102 degrees out towards western Siskiyou County. That's for today. But as the temperatures start to drop, no more heat advisories at this point. So there it is, about 105 degrees for Reading. You'll notice heading southward, temperature's not as hot, 98 degrees for Reading and Oroville. And you see a lot of lightning strikes on the map here. Not everyone's going to see them, but that potential is going to be there. I do have dry conditions for the inland areas and, of course, for the coast as well, with temperatures there in the mid-60s. All right, so let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for the valley. See how temperatures are dropping. Look at that. By Friday, Saturday, low 90s for Reading and Red Bluff. In fact, upper 80s possibly for Red Bluff and Chico by the time we get into Friday and Saturday. So quite a drop in our temperatures. We'll take it, right? All right, there's a look at your coast, 7-day outlook. Temperatures mid-60s today and tomorrow, but probably somewhere around 60, give or take, after that. I do have the chance for isolated thunderstorms in Trinity County. I think today and even tomorrow, mainly north of Highway 299, and then temperatures dropping down into the mid-80s by the time we get into Friday and Saturday. All right, for Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains, there's that chance for isolated thunderstorms here today and tomorrow. Those chances will begin to diminish, though, as we take you into Wednesday. Now, also, temperatures dropping there, and I do expect those temperatures to most likely even be in the 70s by the time we get into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, before we get into the fire weather forecast, what I want to do is just kind of give you a quick update on where you can get some information. Get the latest on weathernorcal.com, and I'm going to show you where you can find that here real easily here. So you can see if you go to weathernorcal.com, you can see that we do have the weathernorcal.com here. You scroll down here, click on fire danger, and then from here, you can go to watch duty. You can also find all kinds of other great information. So once again, just go to weathernorcal.com and you can get that information there. So let's take a look at the fires that are in the region. The two main areas that I'm focusing on, and the biggest one is going to be in Trinity County, the Reading fire. Okay, so let's zoom it in here a bit tighter on the Reading fire. And you can see as of early this morning, per CAL FIRE, the fire is 5% contained at 39.4 acres. And there are two areas where we have an evacuation warning. Now, again, keep in mind an evacuation warning is be ready to evacuate. You don't have to evacuate just yet, but be aware, be alert, get everything ready to go. And then if you have to leave, you'll be ready to go very easily and very quickly. Now you can see the initial fire perimeter there. This is all to the south and east of the Douglas City area. Now the evacuation warnings are for TRI DUG 260 and TRI DUG 258. Again, mainly south of Highway 299 and east of Highway 3. And it's really something that we're going to have to continue to watch here very closely as we still got a bit of a ways to go when it comes to that containment. Now let's take you out again here. You can see the letter fire over Plumas County in southwestern Plumas County. We'll zoom it in here a little bit tighter there. And per CAL FIRE, we are also looking at the letter fire off Grizzly Road near Grizzly Forebay west of Bucks Lake at 7.1 acres. So again, those are the areas that we have and are on the lookout for. All right, so that is a look at the fire weather, not the fire weather, just the fires that are out there. We're getting into the fire weather here in just a bit. But what do you say we take you now to your fire weather forecast, which is sponsored by Garmin Tractor Service. So let's get you right to the weather maps here on the green screen. And you can see here that we do have the winds fairly calm out there this morning here. And they're going to be fairly calm here through the first half of the day. But I do expect that as we go into the midday and afternoon, those winds are going to start to pick up again here. 15 miles per hour for Reading. These are gusts. Now notice the winds are more from the south, for the south end of the valley, but coming in more from the northwest. So a bit drier, most likely, heading up to the north here. Also, we are seeing those gusty winds off to the east here. Now, as we go into tomorrow morning, those winds are going to start to die down again. But look at this. I mean, they're really picking up again here, again for Tuesday afternoon, dying down again here for Wednesday morning, but may pick back up again here for Wednesday afternoon. Let's take a look at that fire weather risk, combining the temperature, which is going to be very hot today, the winds, and the low humidity. So the numbers here indicate humidity levels here were in the lower teens, south winds to the south, more of a north-northwest wind, although you can see it kind of does work its way even into the north end of the valley with those south winds. But bottom line, where you see the oranges, deep oranges, that is in that high fire weather risk that we do have for the valley. Now we do see some recovery. You can see humidity levels in the 30 to 40% range in the valley tomorrow morning, but by tomorrow afternoon, unfortunately, we're once again seeing those gusty winds coming in from the south. Humidity not quite as low, but still 15, 20, 25% is still low when we're talking humidity levels. Now by midday Wednesday, we're not quite in the even moderate range, but we're getting in the moderate to high most likely again going into your Wednesday afternoon. So we have an area of low pressure to our west, we have the afternoon convection that we saw yesterday, and high pressure is still in place here over Northern California, and that's why it's going to be another very hot start to the week. But we do expect temperatures to start to drop. But let's take a look at the chances for showers and thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon today. So there's 3 p.m. You can see the thunderstorms beginning to pop up in the higher elevations. Now I think most of it will be east of Del Norte and Humboldt County, so you'll most likely be dry today. So you have that fog though along the coast. Even this evening, we're still seeing those showers and thunderstorms lingering even into tonight for the eastern mountains, but after midnight, that all dissipates. And we probably will see another round of this going into tomorrow afternoon as well. Starting off that fog along the coast here, there's Tuesday afternoon. There's a chance for isolated thunderstorms again for pretty much all of the mountain locations here. But by the way, notice eastern Shasta, eastern Tehama, and Butte, you most likely dodge a lot of these thunderstorms, but I still got a chance for you in there here for both today and tomorrow. Now, some clouds may kind of push through the valley here, but you're still dry. By Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, most of that's pretty much gone, and you're looking at dry conditions. Still seeing the fog along the coast, and it's beginning to inundate some of those low-lying areas, the inland valleys as well. So be aware of that. Maybe out towards Garberville, seeing some of that. And along the Highway 101 corridor, maybe Blue Lake, seeing some of that fog here for Wednesday morning. It starts to try to back off, but still even midday on Wednesday, still a lot of that fog. But you'll notice not as much convection coming in even midday Wednesday, so this is why I don't expect to see much in the way of thunderstorms, if any, as we do go into your Wednesday. Let's take a look at the big ridge of high pressure that is in place. That big ridge, by the way, that ridge of high pressure is what's the reason why it's so hot, right? But that's going to be shifting eastward here through the week as some cooler air kind of rides up to our north. Now, this really right here is the key to our forecast here later this week, because as long as these storm systems continue to ride to our north, which looks like that may be the case here, not only is not as hot this week, but not as hot next week as well. However, what we're seeing here is that this trough of low pressure, as it continues to push to the east, it'll help to drop our temperatures down significantly as we go through the end of this week and into the weekend. But I do expect that as we do go through next week, temperatures will increase. But as I mentioned here, as you can see here, not as hot even going into next week. But we'll see the nice cool down, the peak of the cooling trend, probably sometime around this weekend, upcoming weekend. And then we start to see temperatures increase again after that. But looking at the long range, we are in that cooler than normal category for a good portion of Northern California, with that main bubble of heat pushing off to our east. So there's that trend. You see how we're dropping our temperatures. The peak is around Friday, Saturday, and then we start to see temperatures begin to climb again. But once again, I don't think it's going to be quite as hot going through next week. Hey, take a look at those lake levels, still very healthy. We are seeing them begin to drop even for Lake Oroville, but of course it was getting too high, so they need to do some releases from Lake Oroville. But you get the idea. Still 100% capacity, still 90 to 93% capacity for Lake Shasta and Trinity Lake as well. Let's take a look at the wave heights out there for today, and really not that much of a concern here as we go into your Tuesday afternoon. So it looks like things are looking pretty good. No small craft advisories. You've just got the patchy, dense fog if you do need to be on a small boat, so know that that visibility might be low out there. There you can see those winds from the northwest at about 5 to 10 knots. There's your waves and your high and your low tide for today. All right, here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. A chance for isolated thunderstorms today and tomorrow, but that should diminish here as we go into Wednesday, and temperatures dropping later this week as well. 65 in Eureka, 77 degrees for Blue Lake and Garberville, about 93. The coast, I think, will be dry. You're just looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies. I think even the inland areas will be dry today and tomorrow as well, but we do expect across the board to see those cooler temperatures later this week. That includes Siskiyou County down to the 80s by the time you get into Wednesday, even as early as tomorrow. But there you can see that chance for thunderstorms here for today and tomorrow. That's also the case for Modoc County. Still pretty warm. You're looking at highs in the low 90s here for today, but you're down into the low 80s, even some upper 70s by Friday. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures in the low to mid 90s there. 95 in Susanville, 93 for Janesville, 92 degrees for Chester, Chester and 91 degrees in Paradise. We take you out to the valley here to the south. No thunderstorms. It's just going to be hot, but thanks to that south wind, you're going to keep those temperatures for the south end of the valley mainly in the mid to upper 90s for your daytime highs. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast for Chico. You're up to about 98 today, 97 on Tuesday, but temperatures continue to drop. Upper 80s by the time you get into Friday and Saturday, looking very pleasant. 105 for Redding, 106 for the city of Shasta Lake and Palisadro, 103 for Cottonwood, and 101 degrees out towards Red Bluff. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for Redding. Well into the triple digits here for today, but temperatures slowly dropping. Now, Redding, you may be a little bit more hard-pressed to reach that upper 80s, but still very close nonetheless. Temperatures around 90 for Friday, Saturday. Temperatures may start to increase for the end of the weekend and into early next week. That's your morning update. I'll be back again at noon for your latest forecast. Have a great morning.
Barr & Mudford is a top established firm here in the Northstate. Founded over a half-century ago, Barr & Mudford is protecting the rights of our neighbors and community. We take our commitment to our clients very seriously and provide a level of excellence unrivaled in the Northstate. Barr & Mudford, standing up for the rights of our neighbors and our beautiful community, serving Northern California with excellence.